Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into Season 4 of the Dega Pros Little Guys series here live tonight on the Hickory Racing Network. My name is Dawson Wise. We'll be bringing you all the action here for our 4th season of this series as we get set to go racing here for race 1 of 5 in the regular season. 50 laps on tap here from the Talladega Super Speedway. Joining me in the booth this season once again, you know him from Thursday nights on the PGR broadcast as the race controller. He joins me up here behind the microphone again this season. It's Matthew Baker. Baker, we're back for another season. What are you expecting out of this go-around?
I've been looking at one truck and one truck only, and that's Dustin Carruthers. I know he blew his engine in the championship race, didn't end the way he wanted to, and the season before that was absolutely dominant. So I look for Dustin Carruthers to get a win out of the way early and contend for that championship.
Well, a guy we've been talking about since I started this back in Season 1, since we started covering it, that is, back in Season 1, and a guy that's been there multiple times, has yet to wear the crown, and he hopes to wear the crown here this season, the crown king of the little guys here after season number 4. A new format to go over for you this season, so we'll go over that now while we have some time, 3 minutes here in the qualifying session. It is 5 races still. That has not changed. 5 races in the regular season, 50 laps, 50% fuel. All that is the same. But the system of determining our championship race drivers is a little bit different. Instead of locking in the top 3 every week, we're going to lock in one driver a week, and that is the driver that goes to victory lane. 5 race winners will automatically lock their way into the championship race at the end of the season. After that, we'll have a point system where the top 15 drivers in the points after the 5-race series make that championship race. So 20 now will race for the championship instead of 15, and 5 will lock in automatically in a win-and-you're-in system here on Monday nights. Last place in tonight's race, since 20 trucks will get 1 point, it will scale up 1 point each position from there. So 20th will get 1, 19th will get 2, 18th will get 3, and so on and so forth. The winner will get 5 points more than second. And so we'll tally up the points, and at the end of the season, the 15 drivers with the most points will join our 5-race winners in the championship event at the end of the year. So a new format to watch out for. We're only locking in 1 per week this time, not 3. So winning means even more here in this season. A lot of the names that you are used to are back this season for another go. A lot of the ones you saw in our championship race, but some new ones. I know Philip Wilkinson's in the house tonight in the 6 for KSR. I know a couple others. Mike Davenport is in the house for Team PGR tonight in the 55. He's going to have a go at it this season in the Little Guys series, so we'll see what those guys can do over the course of the season. But many of the familiar names are back. Ron Morris, Austin Green, Ryan Bass, Trevor Osbornoff. We talked about Carruthers, Tyler Vickery, and many, many others. We'll get to that in a minute when we get on to the starting grid. Payouts tonight, based on 20. We got 20 in the field, so they're going to pay out even right here. First going to get 70, second going to get 50, and third is going to get 40. So a decent race payout, and then several, I believe $50 each week going to go in the championship pot, either 50 or 30. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we will have a championship pot for the end of the season. We'll get to that when we cross that bridge down the line here in just a few weeks. I believe actually we have, it is 20. I thought it was 21 for a moment, but it is 20 even in the field. Ryan Bass for KSR. Wow. KSR actually 1 through 3 on the board right now, so a statement from them. We'll see if those hold here with 35 seconds to go. And I'll tell you what, Baker, a lot of guys still in this series that I figured would have been out of it by now. Michael Triscaro, our Season 1 champion. Josh McCullough, our Season 2 champion. And the newest guy out of this series, graduated to the big dogs, Justin Mills. Bit of a surprise to end last season. A lot of great contenders still in this one. It's a really great field getting ready to run this race.
Yeah, definitely a good field. We're qualifying, wrapping up. Ryan Bass at the top of the board, tied with Dustin Carruthers to the 10,000th. Dustin Carruthers couldn't edge out Ryan Bass, but you get teammates lining up 1, 2, 3. Ryan Bass, Dustin Carruthers, Trevor Osmerth trying to control the field here early. Look out for PGR though. They brought some trucks late in the season last year and towards that championship race. Look for them to try and make some noise again.
We expect them to make some noise. They came and kind of spoiled the party. We ran 1-2 in our final regular season race last season. Managed to get their way to that championship event and steal a couple of those spots. We'll see if they can do that again this time around. Well, here we go. The trucks are getting on the grid. Qualifying is over. It's time for another season of the Little Guys series, and we'll get right into our starting grid for race 1 of our 5-race regular season. On the pole, a time of 55.622, going to be the KSR entry of Ryan Baste in the 73. To his outside will be his teammate. You heard Baker talking about the 10,000th of a second. Coming down to separate these two KSR teammates, it'll be Dustin Carruthers on the outside of row number 1. Row 2, it'll be Trevin Osbornoth in the 89. To his outside, one of the PGR drivers, J.R. Miller in the 78, looking to go back-to-back here and get into the championship race. Starting fifth tonight, the 1 for McCullough Motorsports, that'll be David Sheets. To his outside, it will be Mike Davenport for PGR in the 55. Ron Morris, coming off a championship-level effort last season. He starts 7th tonight. Heath Job of Hyper Motorsports will start to his outside in the 760. Rounding out the top 10 will be Richard Elliott for BAR in the 02, and Mark Vondell from McCullough Motorsports in the 59.
Row 6, you get Hyper Motorsports. Danny Barnes with Bobby Forbes, his teammate, to his outside. Philip Wilkinson, the KSR entry, in 13th, with Michael Clay to his outside in 14th. Brock Westmoreland and Austin Green in 16th. First truck to not take a time tonight, Austin Green. Logan York in 17th. Jack Hignight in 18th. Tyler Vickery, look for him to come to the front of the field very fastly. Great improvements from him all around. Like to see him in a good championship fight this year. And Tucker McClendon rounding out your 20 truck field.
So 20 are off the hauler. 20 have unloaded here at Talladega to try to get their way into the championship race and win their way in early. Victory Lane paying a little extra here tonight. 50 laps on tap, and we're about to roll the trucks off of the grid. I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. We're ready to go. We're ready to get this season started the only way we know how. While you're here, share the link. Tell everybody it's time to go Little Guy Racing again. A few weeks off, but you know these guys couldn't wait more than a couple weeks. It's time to get them back underway and back towards that championship race. And already, BB, good to see you out in the chat so far already, and Devin Ray as well in the chat here. One of the KSR teammates, rooting on his teammates who, what a strong qualifying effort for these guys. 1 through 3 on the board. These guys, I feel like, will not be denied this time around. All 3 made their case last season to be a championship team, and unfortunately the luck did not pan out their way. All 3 found themselves in that race, and all 3 came up just a little bit short. They're going to be on a mission here this season. It'll be 50 laps, 50% fuel, which means a couple of pit stops on tap tonight, at least 2, if not more than that, here at Talladega. Probably 3, actually, now that I'm looking at the fuel numbers. Probably closer to 3 pit stops, so a lot of opportunities to gain spots, a lot of opportunities to lose them. We saw that play a factor in our 100-lap championship event a few weeks ago, and so we'll see if it plays a factor here in tonight's race. As we get ready to go green for 50 laps of racing, it's a long time coming here for Season 4 of the Little Guys Series. Who will join Michael Triscaro, Josh McCullough, and Justin Mills as Little Guys Series champions have become the 4th man to walk away with that prize. We're about to start on that journey right now as we get ready to go under the green flag for the first time. Ryan Baste, Dustin Carruthers, 2 guys you could argue should be champions already. Going to have the first run into turn number 1. They're going to lead the field on this first lap, and here we go. Austin Green files back in line about row number 8, and the pace truck will dive down and hand the field to the KSR 73 of Ryan Baste. Here we go. Pace car is down on pit lane, 50 laps on tap, and away we go for the Little Guys Series season number 4. 250 laps of regular season racing await us over the next 5 weeks. Who's going to get the job done and be crowned champion? We'll find out starting tonight. Another restart zone for the first time. Green flag will go in the air. We're racing in Talladega for the Dega Pros Little Guys Series. Lap 1 going to be led by Ryan Bass. His teammates still flanking him to his right elbow. Top line going to roll here early. It's Heath Job, but Brock Westmoreland not showing much commitment so far. And Job will drop back in line. Bass, Carruthers doing a good job controlling the PGR boys. Watch out, Heath Job. Westmoreland trying to get linked up with his teammates here down the back straightaway. 2 laps down. Bass, Carruthers still on the front row.
I look for Davenport to try and step out there with Job. Didn't get it, but you see Brock Westmoreland goes to the back bumper of his teammate, and all 3 PGR trucks lined up early here with Hickory hanging back, playing his own strategy. Hasn't been in the truck for a couple of weeks. You know, he's just going to lay back just a little bit, get used to the truck. Another truck that's towards the back. You see Michael Clay going all the way towards the back. But Austin Green, just a note on him, he qualified for the College iRacing Series. Took the top 40 on times in the trucks. Dale Cup went in there, showed him how to get it done. He went down and put down a lap to put him inside the top 10. So he will be qualifying and racing for that race in a couple weeks. I'll be spotting for him as he goes for some scholarship money, upwards of $5,000. So congratulations to him, my co-host for PGR and broadcaster for Gross Racing Network.
The Green Ghost locks into another College Series race. He's been in several already this season and tries to get a little bit better result here at Talladega now that we're on the drafting tracks, and score 1 for him on that one. He knows it better than most of the guys in that field, so expect Austin to run well in that race. The Hyper guys are up top. They take along with them, looks like Logan York potentially up there in the 40. But not much hay being made so far. Now Job starts to get a run. He's going to be up to row number 3. Carruthers inherits the lead here as they hit the travel and once again cross the stripe. Lap 4 on the board as they come by here. And they're trying to get something working up top. Not really working yet so far. Tucker McClendon joins the line. And one other truck in behind him. Looks like Danny Barnes going to join the line as well. And Job is all the way up to the front row onto the Alabama gang. Super stretch, 3 wide, 5 rows deep. Look at the run by Job. He'll get the lead up on the top side.
A huge push from Logan York there. Great job. One of the best pushers. We always talk about it every week. He drops immediately to the bottom. Doesn't want to stay in that middle line. He knows that middle line's... Oh, big stack up out behind. Rob Morris Jr. shuffles into Richard Elliott. They're all going to save it, though. Great work by everyone there. But that you can see that middle line had a lot of separated trucks, if you will. But the bottom line was very stacked. It caused a big stack up there going on the corner. Everyone saves it.
Now look at the push up top again here by Forbes. He gets to the back of York. What a save, Logan York, but they're going to go around behind. Bobby Forbes, Mark Vondell going to go around further back to 59 pounds to the inside wall. Loses the front end, but unfortunately still under the green flag. No caution as Bobby Forbes got around near the front of the field after the stack-up caused on the contact with him and Logan York. Luckily, it looks like everybody else is going to come away from this okay for the most part. I think we stay unscathed. Somehow, some way, only Mark Vondell got involved in that one, as even Bobby Forbes kept it going.
Yeah, just unfortunate for Mark Vondell. Innocent bystander there to the stack up that happened up front from just an offset push from Job to Logan York. But this has spread this field out. And the name of the game of this little guy series has been pit stops. Can you get to those green flag pit stops? And once that happens, we go green almost every single time. We have barely seen a caution, but Logan is throwing caution to the wind right now. He's going back to the top side with Danny Barnes. He wants that lead. He wants to get up to Heath Job again and tell him he didn't like that push, and he wants to lead another lap. Ryan Bass jumps up to the middle to his teammate. Big move to the middle. 3 wide. You've got about 8 trucks here fighting, 9 or 10 towards the back. Really shuffling positions. Bass takes a huge run with Dustin Carruthers. They're still fighting for everything up here like it's the last lap, but it's lap 6 going into 7.
I tell you, there's several guys in this field that are extra motivated this season because of how the last season or two have gone for them. Logan York's one of them. Missed out on the championship event last season, as did Ryan Bass. Those two on a different level of motivation, as is Dustin Carruthers, as is Trevin Osborne. Several guys in this field that feel like they got shorted last season or the season before that. They have something to prove. They're showing it so far. York and the Hyper guys working very well together so far, although now the line's going to fade. Barnes is going to fade in behind J.R. Miller, and Logan York will have to settle to drop in 4th in line here in the middle. But so far, the most aggressive heat. Ryan Bass, Heath Job, a couple others have been very aggressive early on. It's worked out for Bass, not so much for Logan quite yet. It'll go to the help of the guys further back. Carruthers Bass once again on the front row. I can't say I'm surprised as they roll halfway down the back straightaway that these guys are the ones in front right now. Big push up top. J.R. Miller's doing good work. He's got Danny Barnes in support now. It's 3v3 here at the front as he's front 6. Kind of scoot away a little bit from David Sheets in 7th off 4.
Oh, Logan York just doored Ron Morris there in the middle of 3 and 4. Wasn't happy. He didn't get a space in towards the middle, trying to side draft him to get towards the bottom, open up the space. If he just checks up a little bit, he can get back and ride in line. But you know he doesn't want to do that. He wants to go back to the front as the KSR boys both clear to the bottom side. Dustin Carruthers barely clear, takes it to the bottom side. KSR up front, 1-2. A little bit of an offset push. But you're going to see some of these guys start to ride here. They know they can get away from at least 3 trucks at this point. They can get away from Michael Clay, Jack Hignite, and then you have the damage to the front end of Mark Vondel. He's going to stay out as long as possible until he gets lapped. He's got a ton of damage on that front end, but he's hoping for that caution.
He's 37 seconds back. 18 trucks in the lead. 17 trucks in the lead draft. You mentioned the 2 that are 12 seconds off and losing more time. So we're down to 17 in the lead pack here up front. Back 2 trucks back there are Forbes and Elliott, and they both have the draft to the tail end of the field. Front of the field shuffled up. Baste went and got his teammate. They went to the bottom, and now they're just hanging out down along the yellow line. That allows Heath Job to use up that real estate further back. Philip Wilkinson, big move to the outside, and he brings along with him Austin Green. We were talking about him. The laps he's been putting into Talladega. Well, he decides he wants to go to the front. Now they can drop into the middle and go further towards the front. The 87 starting to make some hay as we approach that first pit stop window, which is going to be anywhere from about lap 14 to 16 here on this first run. That's why you see guys like Green, Joe, Barnes, and others trying to get every spot they can, get close to the front here for pit stops. Bates jumps up in front of Job. He'll bring the middle along here in 3, and Carruthers goes back to the lead.
Yeah, you're looking at about 15, 16 laps here, pushing hard, probably 14, but right around that 14 to 16 lap range, you'll see some pit stops. We have teams of 4 here. If they want to go off cycle, they can. We're a little bit past that window for that off cycle because we're looking at about 15 to 15 laps a tank, give or take. You're gonna have to do at least 3 full stops. I think maybe you can short pit one of those, but right now the name of the game is stay in the lead draft, pull away from those guys that are already outside of that lead draft, and make it a 17 truck battle instead of a 20 truck battle.
One truck looks to the outside. It was Miller. Bass drops back down across the front bumper of his teammate Carruthers, so they will once again lead the bottom 1, 2, 3 in a row now as Osborne is in behind Carruthers. So KSR, again, flexing some muscle here, running right along the yellow line. Up top, it's 2 of the hyper trucks, Job and Barnes, with Miller sandwiched in the middle. Wilkinson and Green have also tagged along to the middle line here on the racetrack. You see Vondel goes a lap down. He is severely damaged, and actually he's going to go ahead and bring that truck to pit road. So a tough break early for Mark Vondel. The caution did not fly for his incident with Bobby Forbes further back in the field. And unfortunately for him, going to put him behind the 8 ball early. He will go ahead and come for pit service. Now he knows he's not going to get that caution. So a tough break for him. But still 17 trucks, only 4 up on the outside. Everybody else, save for Job, Barnes, Miller, and Wilkinson, have found the bottom of the racetrack here halfway down the backstretch. And it tells me these guys are going to be content where they are, for now at least, to ride until the pit stop.
Yeah, Mark Vondel just taking left sides, getting back out on the track, get a little bit of fuel, see what else he can run, how many laps he can get back, but he's going to have to repair a ton of damage there. No fast repairs here, so he's not going to be able to get that front bumper fixed off until he comes down pit road. Speaking of coming down pit road, we're looking at about 4 more laps here out front for Dustin Carruthers, Ryan Bass, and Carruthers, and Osbornoth. I think you see Ryan Bass move up to the top. Heath Job takes him 3 wide. Ryan Bass stuck in the middle there. There goes the Hyper Boys. Dustin Carruthers up. Oh, he doors Heath Job. A little bit squirrely on the apron. 4 wide here.
4 wide here at the front, Job. That did not work out for he and Danny Barnes. Still 4 wide second row. Miller drops down. They're going to have to try to figure it out on the 4th line, and now they get it back down to 3. Carruthers had the right idea jumping up to the middle there in front of Bass, but I think he did it right as Heath Job turned down the hill, tried to clear in front of him. They just met in the middle, and man, somehow we get away from disaster. That was almost a massive wreck right at the front of the field.
Yeah, J.R. Miller's really impressed me. Ever since I was racing with him at Daytona and the Next Gens, I really noticed his improvements that he's had. And he just got a new pedal set, got some new sprints, he's got the load cells, he's upgraded his equipment. Look for him to be better on pit stops here, unlike the way he was in the championship with PGR, and unlike he was in the championship with the Little Guys Series. I think J.R. Miller is definitely a truck to watch if he can stay together on the pit road cycles.
Well, this is quietly cycled the McCullough entries to the front here. David Sheets leads the bottom now. His teammate Ron Morris is 2 trucks back of him, and then Austin Green is right in behind them, 4th on the bottom. They brought Logan York to the front along with him. So suddenly, quietly, those trucks have started to drive forward, now find themselves in a really great spot. But now watch as the KSR boys are going to push hard here, try to clear all of them down. Really hard side draft here, trying to get both of those trucks in line. They know the pit stop is coming. And David Sheets, Logan York, they're telling each other here, hey, let's try to keep them up there, keep them stuck, separate them from their teammate. But it's only a matter of time here, I think, before these guys get clear. Based one of the best in the business on the back bumper of the truck in front of him in terms of pushing. And we'll see what he can get done. But right now, stalling out. Great work by David Sheets. Logan York on the bottom, forcing the KSR team's hand here in 1 and 2.
Well, as soon as Carruthers clears down, that's only 2 trucks behind. Base is going to have to fall to the back. One of them has to be the sacrificial lamb, so to speak, to get ready for these pit stops. And these pit stops are coming way sooner rather than later. I mean, 2 or 3 laps. Probably the next 2 laps, you're going to see almost the entire field come down. Osmond to the top. Watch for these 3 trucks to really push the issue here.
They're going to push the envelope. They know that they have to get to the front. They pull out the side draft here on the front straightaway. They're now lined up again. One truck I thought was coming to pit road just got shuffled out on the line. Couldn't tell which truck that was. It was one of the hyper trucks. I believe it might have been Bobby Forbes. They got shuffled out of the line back towards the tail end. And look at Based. He's backing up. Based is backing up, looking for a spot in line now. I think the KSR boys are out of time. They're going to have to just find a spot in line. But look at how far back Ryan Based has gone. Pit stop's coming here in a hurry, and the KSR boys, along with Heat Job, the only one stuck up on the top side.
Danny Barnes dive bombs to the bottom. That's going to open up maybe a spot for Ryan Based. You see the Hyper boys get hooked up, though. He's still going to lose that spot. Still losing all of these spaces out here. You know Ryan Based is looking for a spot here, and it sounds like Ron Morris and the McCullough boys may be coming this time. Oh! Osworth gets into the side of him.
That's going to be a tough break for Carruthers and Osworth as their teammate got on pit road and Ryan Based, but they were not able to. They're the only trucks left. Now they will push hard here for this lap. Everybody else in the lead draft is on pit road. That only leaves these 2 trucks, and Carruthers is out of gas. Dustin Carruthers has run out of gas on the apron of turn number 1. They missed pit road, and unfortunately it's going to cost the 10 back-to-back races where a problem under the hood or a problem in the fuel tank gets the 10 for KSR, and this is the worst possible spot he could have run out of gas. In fact, he's going to bring it to a stop and go right to pit road.
Ooh, unbelievable yet again, the unfortunate timing there for the pit road. You saw Ryan Based bail out. He was smart about it, went towards the back and dropped out to get in the pit stops behind everyone, but just unfortunate for Dustin.
It's going to be unfortunate for Osbornoth as well, as he has run out of gas here off turn number 4, but he's going to be able to coast most likely all the way to his pit box, as he will carry as much speed onto the pit lane as he can and try to roll it down to his box. But he lost a lot of time and unfortunately may lose the lead draft because of that issue off of pit road. What a pit stop, by the way, for Sheets and Morris. They inherit the lead, but the problem is they're lined up behind these 2, and they are catching them in a hurry, as 2 trucks not going to be able to do the job, but so far they are the leaders off pit road. Mike Davenport coming back. A penalty for the 55 of Team PGR. He's coming back to pit road. The pit road issues biting drivers early. Lap 16 on the board. First cycle complete. 3 drivers already harmed on pit road. Trevor
Osmond just getting out now. Going to lose the lead draft, but at least, he didn't have to tow. Was able to take the field back. Mike Davenport going to the pit box, as you said. Looks like Bobby Forbes and who was that? Heath Joe, possibly? No, Danny Barnes had problems on pit road as well.
This lead draft all of a sudden goes from 17 to 11 on this first cycle of pit stops. Tyler Vickery, the last truck in this lead draft, in 11th position. So Wilkinson, Osworth, Barnes, Forbes, Davenport, Hignite, Clay, and Carruthers have all lost the draft as a result of this first cycle of pit stops for one reason or another. So 11 remain on the lead lap in this lead draft. And now we again turn our focus to the next about 15 laps or so of racing as we wait and see when the next pit stop will be. Outside making hay. Here comes Heath Job, J.R. Miller. And you talked about him at the top of the show, how he was just going to wait for a little bit. Now he's decided he's ready to race. He's back comfortable. Tyler Vickery in the 124 begins to make his presence felt at the front of the field. Based in York going to join them as well. 2x2, 5 rows deep.
Man, it looks like Dustin Carruthers only going to lose 1 lap. Very good break there for a tow. That could have been a 4-minute tow. Easily could have been 2 or 3 laps. Just got off pit road. Spun the tires coming out of exit, but he was able to make it work. As you see towards the back half of the field, you've got Trevor Osmond. He's going to get hooked up with Danny Barnes and Bobby Forbes. It looks like they took 4 tires, as that's the result of their bad stop. But like we said, this field just gets thinned out. Oh man, another one down pit road. It looks like, who is that? Michael Clay.
It's Tucker McClendon in the 00, new paint on his truck tonight. I thought it was Clay as well, but it is Tucker McClendon in the now Blind Squirrel Racing truck. I believe some kind of merger going on there with BSR and Misfortune Motorsports. That's why you see the different paint jobs on York, as well as McClendon tonight. McClendon, again, I think he got a pit road penalty and just kind of held out for 3 laps there, the max you can go before you get disqualified. Before he decided to serve it, he comes down pit road. He also is going to lose a lap, make it 10 trucks in the lead draft, and just like that, field getting thinned out here at the front. New leader, though, up front. You talked about him literally just a second ago. Great timing. New leader at Talladega off turn number 4 is J.R. Miller for Team PGR.
J.R. Miller doing a great job. Just runs a patient race. Had a great pit stop there. Tyler Vickery, we talked about him earlier in the show. You just mentioned him. Great to see him back up here, up front, trying to get some laps led, trying to get back in that experience here. But, we talked about the pit stops being the key to the victory when it comes to, just a little bit of an offset push. But the key to the victory here when it comes to the Little Guy Series, we don't see it much in the big dog races, in the weekly PGR races, in the Kid McCullough races. Sometimes you see some green flag runs, but very rarely do we have a good field strategy, pit strategy race. And Dega Pros, their Little Guy Series provides it every week in, week out. We see it.
Well, and they're fun to call. I know me and Austin say this every time one of these kinds of races happen. They're so much fun for me to call. I know Austin feels the same way. When we happen to get lucky in some of the bigger series, oh man, J.R. Miller jumps up to catch Tyler Vickery. Unfortunately, Vickery, a little bit of a panic move right there, jumps up to the outside all the way to the safer barrier. He will drop all the way back. And now Baste will push Miller up on the top side. But like I was saying, these pit strategy races are fun, provide so much more action in a way than a normal super speedway race would, because there's so much more to watch. There's so many different strategies when it comes to these races. And like you see right now, the field gets split up, and it gets just a little bit more interesting to see what everybody does, how they react to it. Miller, man, that was quick, goes right back to the race lead. Baste doing a great job of pushing, but now with no third truck up there for he and Logan York. So Miller will pull forward to the lead with the help of Heath Job. 7 on the bottom, 3 on the top, 21 up and down here at Talladega. It'll be 29 to go. When we hit the line, lap 22 will be on the board.
Just missing most of the BAR guys out here. See Aubrey Thompson out in the chat. Had his job this week. Hopefully we see you next week, Aubrey. And Raymond to get those BAR boys back in the field. Zach Range, another truck notably missing from the field. A couple others that are missing. So come out, get on this little guys race, get in this little guys series. 5 winners lock themselves in. You still have time to be in the points, even though it's a 5-week series. I hope we see all you guys out here. Devin, you too.
Yeah, missing several notable drivers like you touch on. Aubrey Thompson, Raymond Hanneman comes 2nd and 3rd in the championship last season. Their teammate Justin Mills, and what ended up being one of the better last lap timed out moves that we have seen in a while. And they got the job done in the championship last season. Hope to see the other 2 back to try to make it back-to-back championships for the BAR team. Here as we move forward, Richard Elliott representing their team well so far, running just inside the top 10, currently in the 9th position, maybe the 8th position here once he passes up Logan York, who's still up on the outside. Bobby Forbes is going to go another lap down. He is several laps down at this point in the final position on the racetrack in 20th. And we are, again, down to 10 here in the lead draft. We'll run them down real quick for you to give an idea of who is in this draft. J.R. Miller leads the race. Heath Job is in behind him. David Sheets is 3rd. It's Ron Morris in the 4th position. He's in the 5th position. It's Ryan Baste in 6th. Brock Westmoreland in the 7th position. Logan York is up here. He's actually running 4th. He was running 7th when I looked up there. Now he's running up in the 4th position alongside Sheets. Austin Green is 8th. Richard Elliott's 9th. And Tyler Vickery is 10th. So those are the 10 drivers in the lead draft right now. Baste and York, the only 2 up on the top side, trying to make something work. And I'll tell you what, for 2 trucks, making it work so far, almost halfway home, and they are going to be even with the leader here in turn number 1.
Yeah, definitely. They're trying to push the issue here, make sure that the guys on the bottom aren't saving fuel, running the pace that they want them to. But like you said, just only 10 cars there in that lead draft. You see Philip Wilkinson leading one of the slower packs with 4 trucks, mostly KSR, tucked in as Danny Barnes in the mix with them. But Dustin Carruthers, only 1 lap down. He'll be the first car That is a lap down. Mac Davenport following him, and then Tucker McClendon behind him. So look for Dustin Carruthers. I mean, you get a late race caution, get him back in the fight. Look out.
Well, absolutely. We have not had a caution yet. Wire to wire still here on lap number 24. And again, you talked about it a little bit earlier. When we get to that first pit stop, typically these races run wire to wire. Even our championship race, once we got to a pit stop, felt like it spread out and ran most of the way under the green flag. So we'll see if that happens again tonight. Already almost halfway, and we're already wire to wire so far, 25 laps in. And it's a product of the field being split up, a 10-truck lead draft. Beyond that, everybody's all over the racetrack as they all try to figure out where they're going to run in this race. Wilkinson, Barnes, Osborne out to the first 3 trucks not in the lead draft, and the only 3 not in the lead draft to be on the lead lap. They are 26 seconds back. Notably, they are picking up some time. Now, it would be quite a task here to try to gain 26 seconds, but they are quickly gaining time on the lead draft, who appears to me to be saving some gas for the most part here at the front. They are really picking up time, but it's going to be a long trek to try to get back from 26 seconds out.
Yeah, definitely a long trek. But, these front pack, they're just saving their truck so much. Not so much saving gas, definitely inherent to it. But, Heath Job up right in front of Logan York. They've had some words exchanged here in this session. You saw that offset push by Heath Job and Logan York. He yapped back at him. Heath Job right back on the radio. That's the difference between iRacing and real life. You can only yell at your spotter to yell at the spotter to yell at the driver. Right here, you could just communicate straight driver to driver. Tell him you didn't like that push. Do a little bit of trash talking. Logan York is one of the best at it, I tell you that.
Well, one of the more notable trash-talking drivers in the field is Logan York, running in the second position in the 40 as he drops in with Heath Job. They will inherit the 1-2 spots in the race here up front with 25 laps to go. It kind of takes you back to the 2011 era tandem racing that we had, where you could basically flip a switch on your radio and switch over to a driver's channel. Usually it was designated either to one car or to a teammate. And so you can kind of do that. It's kind of the similar concept, but you can talk to everybody instead of just one driver.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I was saying, I think we're saving our trucks more than we're saving gas here. It's just inherently saving gas. And these front guys know that only one person's locking into the show here. It could be a good points day for 9 others, but one of them is locking themselves into the championship race, and that's the difference. That's why I think you could see a late race caution, because you're going to see a ton of people working their tails off to try and get to the front and win this race. And oh, by the way, there's still money on the line.
Yeah, still a pretty decent winning payday, 70, 50, and then 40 for first, second, third, respectively. So still a pretty good payday for a $10 entry. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good payday here. Not only do you get locked into the championship race, you get a $70 payday along with that. So it could be a breakthrough for several guys in the field. And we talked about Ryan Bass, the luck that he has had over the past couple seasons, the way it has kind of turned against him. It would be a huge breakthrough for him to just go ahead and get it off his back tonight and get to victory lane. Logan York, same thing in the 40. Talked about J.R. Miller as well. A couple guys here in this lead pack that could really benefit from a victory. Like you said, good points night is one thing, but a victory to lock yourself in is an entirely different outcome, an entirely different outlook for your season at that point if you get to victory lane. Bass Job continue to trade the lead, 23 to go. Next pit stop is coming up here pretty shortly. In fact, probably in about the next 3 to 4 laps here as these guys start to get singled out again. 10 trucks in the lead draft now. I feel like it might be less than that next time they come off pit road.
Ryan Bass got some help from 2 lap trucks to get to the front. Now he's stuck to the bottom, which is great for him for the fuel strategy. Unlike the last time where he was stuck on the outside, had to fall back, he has that track position now. And what those 2 trucks up at the high side want to do is you see the McCullough Motorsports trucks pull out of line, come right back in. But you see Jack Hignite, Michael Clay, those are the first 2 trucks a lap down. They're working together to try and get back on that lead lap and bring some aid to Dustin Carruthers, if not just be that first truck a lap down when it comes to either a caution or these green flag cycle laps.
So we will await and see what happens on this next cycle of green flag pit stops. Notably, the Wilkinson Osborne Barnes trucks currently sit just under 26 seconds back and have been gaining almost a second a lap, it feels like, for a little bit now, although the pace has started to creep back up here at the front of the field. Job and York really want to push the lead pack's pace. Then once they got to the front, that pace really picked up. So I don't expect those lap times to be that separate now that these 3 are linked up at the front. But again, they're hanging around. Those 3 trucks still on the lead lap. Yeah, they're 25 seconds back, but they are hanging around, just waiting on a potential mistake, a potential caution. Still very much in this race. Look at the top three scooting away. This tells me that there might be some fuel saving going on from J.R. Miller on back. These front three, though, do not appear to be saving anything. York, Job, and Bass, they are kind of scooting away from the rest of this lead draft just a little bit. And Miller says, okay, that's enough of that. I'm going to reel them back in. And they come back to him, and that's why. Pit stops, and it's everybody in the lead draft. We're going to be 4 wide on that second road. Does everybody get in okay? Not quite. Job's going to spin right in front of Westmoreland, and Brock Westmoreland gets tangled up with Heath Job, and that is a tough break for those 2 trucks on pit road.
Yeah, it's 3 trucks around on pit road. I thought a caution definitely would have came out. Everyone clears up, though. No caution. You see Brock Westmoreland with some front-end damage there. Heath Job around. Those 2 are going to lose the lead draft. Unfortunate for Brock Westmoreland, just a innocent bystander there, but Heath Job locks up the rear brakes just towards the back just a tad.
Field rolls off pit road, and you see the next group coming on pit road. Trouble! Ryan Bass in the 73 has gone for a slide at the end of pit road, and he will be clobbered at the end of pit road by Jack Hignite. Big damage for Ryan Bass, and the unlucky streak continues for the driver for KSR. All 3 now afflicted on pit road as the 73 goes for a spin and gets clobbered right at the end of the pit lane.
It's unbelievable. Backs right up. Oh, right into the back. Just saw the replay of it. Into the back of Jack Hignite. Unfortunate for Ryan Bass there. Loses his rear bumper, but it's just going to stretch out this lead pack draft again. David Sheets, another great pit stop. We're down to 7 trucks here in the lead pack here. David Sheets leads them with J.R. Miller.
All right, so here is your lead draft after the second pit stop. David Sheets, J.R. Miller, Ron Morris, Logan York, Tyler Vickery, Richard Elliott, and Austin Green. 7 trucks remain here in the lead draft. Brock Westmoreland, Heath Job lost the draft on their incident on pit road. Ryan Bass sustained damage in his incident at the end of pit road. And all 3 of those trucks have lost the draft as a result of this cycle of pit stops. So we're down to 7. The issue now becomes they cannot make it to the end. 19 laps to go. The window is about 15. So 1 pit stop remains. You either run it out, take a splash, or you take a splash and fill it here at about 4 laps. I know some guys are split on this. Some guys like to pit early, some guys like to pit late. Baker, what's the call here? Early or late? What's going to benefit these drivers better?
On the front, too, I think you're going to want to try and run it out as long as you can. But the issue with that is the trucks behind you, you're going to save as much fuel, and they'll swap you on track position when it comes out. But you're staying out front. You have that track position. And with this 7 trucks, track position means everything. It's a lot harder to, get that energy going with 7 trucks as opposed to 20 trucks. So you're going to probably see, I think, this 7 truck field running all the way out. If not, you don't even really see too many teammates that are here together. You only have 2 pairs of 2 that'll go out. So you wouldn't see J.R. Miller and Tyler come down together. You wouldn't see Ron Morris and David Sheets come together. As long as they all 7 stay together for this pit cycle, that's what I expect to see. And I think Austin Green, Richard Elliott, and Tyler Vickery, if he can hold on to his truck, save some fuel, will come out on the better end whenever it comes down to it.
So we'll see what they decide to do. 18 laps to go. We await the final pit stop. The pay window will be open to see who will be the first driver to lock into the Little Guys Series Championship race at the end of the season. Sheets leads, Miller second, Morris third, then York, Vickery, Elliott, Austin Green appear to be the 7 that are going to fight it out for this first race of the season. Several big storylines in this race. Guys that have won in this series before, guys that haven't won in this series before. Several different stories all coming together at once here with 17 laps to go. David Sheets, a former winner in this series. I think a multi-time winner in this series. Won in both of the seasons. J.R. Miller came second in last season's race. If I remember correctly, he was second. He was either second or the winner. I can't remember either he or Nash Brambilla, but they did finish 1-2 and raced in the championship race. Ron Morris finished second in the championship race and looks to make it one better tonight, lock himself right back into the championship. Same with Logan York, who missed last season's championship. He looks to get in tonight, running position number 4. Tyler Vickery, probably the best story of last season. He's running 5th, so right back where he started last season and trying to lock his way in. Richard Elliott for BAR looking to put another one of their trucks in a championship race and an opportunity to go back-to-back for that team in this season. And then Austin Green, who has been close several times, was close in the championship race, had a couple of issues, kind of pin him a lap down in the championship race in both of his attempts now. He looks to get right back into it as well. Oh, almost trouble. There is trouble. Tyler Hickory is into the outside wall in the 124. He pounds the wall and now has to bail out of it, and he may lose the draft, and he may take Austin Green with him.
Yeah, it looks like he gets pushed out of line, up into the wall. Austin Green, unfortunately, probably going to lose the draft here unless he can somehow mount an effort, but I think Richard Elliott's going to get the draft back, and it's going to pull Austin Green away from it. Unfortunate. I mean, that's just the 3 trucks we talked about being in the best position, riding in line here. And I was looking away for a second, didn't really see what happened there. Just unfortunate for Tyler Victory, who was having such a good run.
Was having a great run at it, and now unfortunately finds himself losing the draft. He's 3.5 seconds off and counting. And notably, the gap has stabilized a little bit. It had started to stabilize a little bit for Austin Green, but now it starts to grow again. It's up to 1.3 seconds, and he approaches the edge of the draft. Richard Elliott's got it, so 5 cars now remain, and with only 1 winner spot on the line here, 5 trucks for 1 spot, going to get awfully interesting. And the only teammates left here at the front of the field, Morris and David Sheets. We'll see how that plays into it. Pay window will be open here. Would have been open this time. It'll definitely be open next time as we get ready to see if these guys are going to pit early or if they're going to try to run it out. 14 to go. Sheets, Miller, Morris, York, Elliott, your top 5. And now all of a sudden the game plan changes if you're a guy in this lead draft. Only 4 other guys to contend with for the victory as they come off turn 2. Game planning starting to brew here in the heads of the top 5.
I mean, if I was Austin Green, I would pit now. He has a chance to catch this pack that's 31 seconds back. If he were to pit now, get a quick splash of fuel, come out with a lead draft, he may be able to stay tucked up to these race leaders once they decide to make a pit stop.
So we'll see. 14 laps to go. The window's open here this time by for sure. Off turn number 4. Nobody's going to take it. Green's going to stay on the racing surface. Now he will dive to pit road. So immediately takes your advice, drops to the pit lane, and will come to pit road for his final service here with 14 laps to go. He is the first to pit on this cycle. 13 to go as the leaders pass the line. The top 5 all still the same. Vickery is going to catch Westmoreland and Job that are about 17 seconds back of the leaders. The Wilkinson, Osborne, Barnes contingent is 32 seconds back in 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then Ryan Baste, after the incident on pit road, finds himself 38 seconds off the lead in 13th, the last car, on the lead lap. Notably, the first car lap down's changed hands. It's now Dustin Carruthers in the 10. He's worked back from being the last car lap down to being the first one in line should something happen here in this lead draft. But with 5 trucks, not sure it's going to happen. They're going to short pit. They're going to come now. 13 to go. Trouble. David Sheets gets hit on coming onto pit road. He slides through the grass. Miller misses pit road, and now only 3 trucks are going to hit the pit lane this time by.
Yeah, it looks like Jared Miller just followed them towards the yellow line, got into him. What this is going to do, I think Austin Green's back in the fight. He took the advice, is going to get the draft off these guys. He's going to catch these guys.
Well, the lead will be inherited here by Vickery, who is in this group with the lap trucks of Davenport and Westmoreland, or excuse me, not Davenport, Westmoreland, Davenport and McClendon. So he will inherit the lead, and these guys are not going very fast. As Ron Morris, Logan York, Richard Elliott come off pit road. Sheets still on the pit lane. I'll tell you who I think it brings back into it. In fact, it already has brought them back to the leaders. Now they will have to pit again. Is Wilkinson, Osborne, and Barnes. Now we'll see what it does for them here and how they're able to cycle out with those guys that just came to pit road. And Austin Green.
Look at that. Austin Green
he does have
there.
Wow. So Austin Green gets the lifeline he needed there when they came onto pit road, and he's back in this one. In fact, he's going to bypass those guys still cycling off pit road. He's going to inherit the lead when this is all said and done.
He's definitely going to inherit the lead. I think you're going to see some people pit here in the next time. But, it sounds like Ron Morris also has a problem. Looks like he may have got a penalty. He's going to stay out one more to keep Logan York attached and try and get him to Austin Green before it's all said and done. He was going to pit this time by, but I think he's going to pit the next time by. Oh, my God. Ron Morris with an issue. This race is unbelievable.
J.R. Miller loses the lead draft, so he goes from the lead to losing the draft here on pit road after he caused the incident with David Sheets. Sheets loses the draft as part of that incident. Now Ron Morris has an issue. And he's going to try to get Logan back to the field, but they got to make some hay before Morris comes down pit road. York's pushing for all he's worth, trying to hang with these guys. I mean, all of a sudden, we went from what looked to be about a 5-truck race to what's going to end up being, 2? I think it might end up being 2 by the time this is all said and done with Austin Green and Logan York.
Yeah, if Richard Elliott can't catch up to the draft here, you can see Ron Morris pull off, and now it's just a fight between Austin Green and Logan York. Richard Elliott out of the fight. It's just these two trucks. I can't believe it. It's like we're watching the 1979 Daytona 500 right now.
Well, these guys running at the tail end of a group that still needs to pit. Austin Green will jump up with Michael Clay. York will follow suit. And with 10 laps to go, by far, this is going to be the weirdest finish we've seen in this series, where we're only going to have what looks to be 2 trucks in the fight when all of it comes said and done. We're only going to have 2 trucks that are in the battle for the race win when this all cycles through. This is insane. I don't think I've ever seen a super speedway race decided between 2 trucks being the only 2 on the lead lap. Now, granted, Westmoreland, Job, Hickory still inherit the lead. The problem is they still have to come to pit road here in the next several laps. They will run it as long as they can. But once they come to pit road, it'll be Austin Green versus Logan York, because all of these guys back here, Osmernoth, Wilkinson, Barnes, not Richard Elliott, but Osmernoth, Barnes, and Wilkinson still all also have to come to pit road at some point in the next 9 laps.
Yeah, Tyler Hickory, fortunate to get the lead draft there. Not going to be enough, though. But it will keep him good for positions. It's going to be absolutely crazy madness outside of the top 2 for points. It's going to be a lot of single car and 2-car drafts.
Oh, boy, that was a close moment. Ryan Baste, I'm not sure if he saw the field coming there off turn number 2. Had to scramble to the middle. Looked like Ben Rhodes a couple weeks ago in Daytona, going to the middle between the leaders as they came flying on by. And he does get out of the way, luckily. Looked like he might have panicked there in the middle for a second, but everybody gets through it. And all of a sudden, Westmoreland, Hickory, Job hit pit road, and that hands the lead to the guys on your screen. New leader in Talladega with 8 laps to go. Logan York has inherited the lead, and Austin Green is with him. And once these guys behind him pit, it'll be a 2-horse race to see who locks into the championship. And what better, too, the guy who missed the championship last season and the guy who's been there already 3 different times going to battle it out, see who the first guy is to lock in at the end of the season.
It's going to be craziness if we get to the white flag. I hope we get to the white flag, because this is so much fun to watch. You see Clay going to move out of the way. He goes to the top of the track, gives way to the leader. Logan York out front with Austin Green behind. I think you're going to see maybe Philip Dustin and Jack come here this time, possibly. But they're trying to save fuel. You see Trevor backed way off, trying to save as much fuel as he possibly can, but I just don't know if it'll be enough.
I don't think they're going to be able to save that much. They'd have to save basically a quarter tank. I don't think you can save quite that much here. Saving over 5 laps worth of gas. I just don't think it's going to be quite enough for them as we get closer and closer to the end of this race. 7 laps to go. And right now, 5 trucks technically in the lead draft, but 3 of them will have to come to pit road. That being the Wilkinson, Osmernoth, and Barnes machines, as well as the lap trucks of Carruthers, Hignite, Forbes, and others who also run in this group. So we'll have to wait and see how this cycles out. We assume right now it'll be a 2-horse race between York and Green when all is said and done, and the smoke clears. It'll be the 2 running right here at the front that will settle this one out. Mano y mano here at the front. And like you said, 1979 Daytona 500 style. As no takers this time. They're going to stay on the racetrack again. But about 2 laps from now, I think the tanks will run dry for these KSR guys here, trying just everything they can to stay in this race and save enough. I just don't think you could save 5 laps. I've never seen anyone go 20 on a half fuel load.
Yeah, and it's smart for them to run it out as much as they possibly can. You see Tucker McClendon, he went down pit road that time by in front. Not going to be any help for Austin or Logan come crunch time for the race win. So like you said, it's still going to be a 2-truck race here. But they're trying to save as much fuel as they can so they can stay out as long as they can for that track position if a caution does come out.
I'll tell you this right now. This is assuming all these guys do have to pit still behind them. If this gets to the white flag, and of all people in the field, Logan York is the race leader, and these guys will come to pit road here this time by. 1 truck stays out at the tail end of this group. It's David Sheets, but he is the first truck a lap down as they run right now. If this stays like this, and it is 2 trucks for the win, and of all people, it's Logan York running up front. This is going to be some must-see TV You will not want to look away if we get to the white flag and Logan York is the leader because he has been known to throw some blocks. And running from the lead, I can't imagine he's going to do anything less if it comes down to it.
Well, and the thing is, Austin can't stay that close to him. He needs to keep his distance as much as he can to gen up as big of a run as he can. That spoiler's huge on these trucks, punches a big air. He can get a lot of run if he's about a quarter second back, 0.5 back. I think he can really make his own run and go to the top side, fake it, go back low, try and speed match him and get around him. But it's going to be nuts if we get to this white flag for sure. But it looks like Austin Green hanging off the back of him, trying to bring someone back into the fight. And who is that someone? David Sheets.
It's his teammate, David Sheets, in the one, and that's going to really add a wrench. And Sheets, I believe, has caught this draft just barely. He's hanging on to it. The problem is he has no one behind him. My question now is, will he get there in time? If I'm Austin, I almost start to maybe back up to him here. Let out. Go back up to him. Make sure he's there. Let him push you past Logan York. Now Logan's going to be outnumbered. By the time he gets back around, he will be outnumbered. Now, my question would be, where is his teammate in all this? Tucker McClendon. Oh, interesting. McClendon clearly off the pace here in turns 3 and 4. Is he dropping out to try to help his teammate here with 4 laps to go?
Yeah, he's going 148. You can definitely go about 173 by yourself in these trucks. I don't know if he has damage to check. He doesn't. He's letting out. He's going to try and help his team out here. He's picking up the pace now. He sees them entering the tri-oval. But David Sheets back in the fight as we come to 3 laps to go. This is going to be an unbelievable finish if we get to this white flag between 2 trucks. And I have never said that in my life when it comes to super speedway racing.
Neither have I. And I've been doing this for a couple of years now. I've never seen a super speedway race quite end up like this. They're going to catch McClendon here, probably coming to 2 laps to go. They're halfway down the backstretch. You're going to see McClendon in your camera frame just up in front of the field. There he is in the middle of the racetrack up here at the end of the super stretch. He will be involved in this finish. It's going to be 2v2, and it's going to be a pair of teammates versus a pair of teammates. York will have a teammate. Austin Green will have a teammate. Whose teammate's going to be the better help? They will lap by McClendon. York will go and pick him up. He's going to give his teammate a shot. He's got to hope this doesn't cost him any time, but I don't think it will. He just gave him enough of a shot to maintain the draft. By the start-finish line again, 2 laps to go. It's Green versus York at Talladega.
York clears, but Tucker McClendon stays to the high side. The thing is now he's behind David Sheets. Any move that Logan York makes, it's going to be mano, and then Sheets is going to be the first truck to get back. Sheets is backing off just a tad, trying to take Tucker out of the fight. You see a 2-truck battle up front here. Sheets gets a little bit of a run. He's not going to do anything with it, though. He's going to stay to the bottom of the track. It's going to be a dogfight between these two. York will go to the outside at some point, but when will he make that move?
Oh, he's got to wait as late as possible. If his hand is not forced, he's got to wait as long as he possibly can to go to the outside. Here you see McClendon. First move is by the 00. He goes to grab his teammate. Does his teammate jump out? He's trying to pull Sheets backwards, but he's not getting enough of a run. All they're doing is canceling each other out through the tri-oval. We're going to find out right here who's going to get the job done. White flag. One more lap around Talladega. Green first, York second.
Logan did a great job pushing him all the way out there. McClendon staying side by side with Sheets now. That brings both of those trucks out of the fight. They're side drafting for everything. Logan backs off just a tad, about half a truck length now. I don't really know how to call this because it's just 2 trucks. Here he goes to the outside. Logan York, they're going to be a drag race here side by side. Which truck will help him first? David Sheets to the back bumper. Here comes Tucker with a huge run. Way too big of a run. He's going to have to check up. David Sheets is not. They give a huge push. Oh, they're going to be... Oh my gosh, side by side, coming out of 4.
The run to the checkers. It's York versus Green. They're going to side draft. I imagine they're going to bang doors here in the tri-oval. York may not have to. McClendon pushing him on by. Sheets and Green need a big run here in the tri-oval. Door to door, side by side, elbows out, bullying each other all the way to the start-finish line. At the line, Austin Green gets the job done in the 87.
Oh my gosh, Logan York's best opportunity squandered. Couldn't get the help through the tri-oval that he needed. I knew that bottom side was going to be very good through the tri-oval if they didn't grab a side draft in time. Great push from David Sheets, and he owes him a couple after that.
Austin Green is a winner in the Dega Pro's Little Guys Series, and he will tell us here in a moment that this one's a long time coming for the 87. He's been in the championship race. He's finished in the top 3. Never had he been to victory lane in this series. He'd been waiting for it to happen tonight, the first to lock into the championship race. He wins from McCullough Motorsports with the help of David Sheets. What a finish. It came down to the bumper of the Embry-Riddle Ford F-150. What a finish in race 1. And what a finish between 4 trucks. Really 2 trucks, but 4 total. And Austin Green going to get a chance to celebrate. I imagine he will do so heartily here on the front straightaway.
Well, he did the speed match like we talked about on the inside. As soon as he saw the run through the tri-oval, came up just about a lane and a half right into Logan York's door, stalled him out just a bit, and he was able to have that nose to advantage.
He will start to celebrate. I think he might have tried to hit a rollback when he got to the start-finish line, but couldn't quite get it cranked around far enough. So he'll come back towards the start-finish line. Actually, boy, it looks a little bit like the burnout we saw in Las Vegas yesterday afternoon. He's going to do a Larson-inspired burnout almost here as he comes back to the start-finish line. Wow, and man, look at the speed he's got on this. Now he's going to crank the rollback. There it is. Well, he tried it again. So he will continue to celebrate. And while he does, we'll go back and take a look at a quick replay of this finish because it was outstanding. The margin of victory coming off of turn 4. We'll start with this push in 3 and 4. I saw it too. The runs these two had because of the side draft were nuts. I have never seen runs this big going into 3 for the 2 teammates coming behind him. Watch this push by McClendon and Sheets. Bang! Right in the back bumper, giving them whiplash here at the front of the field, but it shoots them off in front of the 2 teammates when they come off turn 4 where they have to get back connected. McClendon, I thought, gave the race-winning push right here going in the tri-oval. Look how high up York is, though, when they go into the tri-oval. Now he starts to creep down and allows the bottom to just get barely enough of a push. York starts to come down the hill, and look how close this one is as they bang doors at the line. I mean, inches separate those 2 trucks. And Austin Green gets the job done at the line in the first race of the Little Guys Series. We'll go through your finishing results, and then we'll get your top 3 for interviews, as this one is going to produce some great quotes, I would imagine, here in the post-race. Austin Green is a winner in the Dega Pros Little Guys Series. He finishes 6/1,000ths of a second in front of Logan York in the 40, who finishes second tonight. J.R. Miller squeaks out 3rd position with Brock Westmoreland in 4th. Heath Jobe finishes 5th tonight. Richard Elliott in the 6th position. Tyler Vickery in 7th. Trevor Osbornoth 8th. Danny Barnes 9th. And Philip Wilkinson finishes in the 10th position.
11th, you've got David Sheets finishing the first truck a lap down in the field, Ryan Based in 12th. Dustin Carruthers 13th. Michael Clay in 14th. Jack Hignite in 15th. Ron Morris Jr. running up front all day. Unfortunate with the J.R. Miller incident in 16th. Mike Davenport in 17th. Tucker McClendon 18th, Bobby Forbes in 19th, and Mark Vondell early wreck rounding out your 28 truck field.
We're going to go get your top 3 for interviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back in just a moment here from Talladega Super Speedway. We'll get to hear from Austin Green, Logan York, and J.R. Miller. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Back live at Talladega Super Speedway. We're moving down to our post-race interviews here. We'll start with the 3rd place finisher tonight. And that is a 78 for Team PGR, J.R. Miller. J.R., it's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, 3rd place finish for you tonight. I know it's not a victory. Obviously, the victory means a little bit more this season. But, hey, a great points night to start the season. And that matters this season, top 15 in points. Get into the final race of the season. And it's almost as good of a points night as you could have. Take us through your night as a whole, but ultimately that last pit stop, what happened there between you and David Sheets?
Logan was messaging me about what lap to go in, and I typed back my response, and just about that time he sent it right back to me. I looked up, and Sheets was pulling in the pits, and I just had no chance to check up, and I turned him, and totally my fault.
Well, no harm, no foul for you. You finished third tonight, so, coming into a new season, a new format, points matter. You guys came in and crashed the party last season. You and Nash Brambilla getting into the championship race in the final regular season race. You come out first week this time and get a really great start to the year. So just kind of take me through, what this does for your mindset. Your third race in the Little Guys Series is a third-place finish for you. It's a great start on the season.
Yeah, we'll take it. It's just getting out there. Of course, you're running with a lot of these guys, so the tendencies. And I just like it that these are all green flags, so it gives us more chance to do these green flag pit stops and kind of hone our talent a little bit there. I know I needed some more practice with that, but yeah, it's a good start for the season. A good start for the team. I think a lot of us were up there. It just there at the end, it just got kind of jumbled up. And thanks for Brock and Tyler and Davenport for pushing me up to third. So that definitely helps out.
Well, third place finish for you tonight is absolutely a great start to the season and a great points night for you. So before we let you go and enjoy the third place finish, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Thank you guys up in the booth. Thanks for broadcasting this. Thanks, John Ward, for putting the series on again. Big hit with everybody, I believe. Thanks to Cat Meow, Country Inns, Jeff Hill Trailer Sales, and putting this F-150 up near the front.
Well, congratulations tonight on the third place run. A fantastic run for you to start the season, and we'll see how you can build on it here going forward. Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
All right, thanks, boys.
J.R. Miller in the 78, the third place finisher here tonight. I'll bring in the man who came up 1,000 short, the second place finisher. Matthew Baker stands by.
Hey, Logan, it's Matt and Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, talk to me through those last couple laps. I know you saw Tucker falling back to get to you. You saw Austin checking up for David Sheets. You knew it was going to be teammate-on-teammate battle, even though they were a lap down. Talk to me through that 3 and 4. What differently could Tucker have done? What differently could you have done to get a better run? That way you didn't have to worry about that suck off the tri-oval and ultimately the finish at the line.
Yeah, I should have backed up more going into 3 and then stayed on Sheets' right rear. And then exiting the corner, I should have accelerated with Tucker on my bumper. So that way they would have to spend that whole tri-oval building up their run together again. That's what I'll do next time. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, if anything, it was a lot of fun to watch. You side drafted Austin. You guys both got down to about 169, 170, and behind you they were going about 177. You guys jumped from about 170 to 177, 178 in an instant. So it was really cool to see the push out forward and a big fight to the line. Great run for you. Good pit stops. That's the name of the game with these little guy races is just execute on the pit stop. So I think you do that next week. You have another shot to be up front. I don't think it's going to be you versus one truck again. I don't think I've seen that in my entire time in iRacing. But nonetheless, the second place finish, good day in the points. Anyone want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. I want to thank the new company that's sponsoring my museum, filled to the brim with ways to lose a NASCAR race. I want to thank my teammate Tucker McClendon. Yeah, that's it.
Well, the comical Logan York finishes second, hopefully for one position better next week. Thanks for talking to us, Logan.
Of course.
Logan York in the 40, the man who finished second. That'll bring us to our race winner. Got to imagine a pretty happy man tonight. He's finally a winner in the Little Guys Series, and that is Austin Green. Austin, it's Baker and Dawson in the booth. You get a copy.
Let's go!
I figured that's the reaction we would get. You're in victory lane tonight. Take me through that last sequence. You see your teammate David Sheets coming up. You see Tucker McClendon get involved there. What a fun run to the last couple laps there. Take me through it.
Yeah, I'm still kind of baffled that I actually ended up in that position in the first place. We had that checkup on the back. I still don't know what happened. I haven't looked at it yet, but I tried to check up. I still hit Richard, but then that lost me in the 124. Tyler, we both lost the draft, and I was pretty mad about it. So I didn't think I was gonna be that mad at the time, but I was not too pleased about it because I felt like we were in a decent spot. And then once that happened, I thought it was over. And I kind of thought, I was like, well, the only chance I have while I'm still maybe just getting the lightest sniff of draft, but I know I'm going to lose it, is let me just pit right now. I know they're pitting in probably 3 or 4 laps, and I'm just going to hope that somehow I catch a draft right as I exit the pits. And sure enough, I got lucky and went in the pits as hard as I could and came out, and then caught the back, just barely the back of a draft of I think it was the KSR guys that were all still out. So I was able to just barely hang around in their draft long enough for that first group to pit. And then when they came out, I was surprised, but yeah, somehow, I mean, I was about even, got in front, and then the last couple laps there, when it lined up, we knew that KSR still had to pit, so it ended up being me and Logan, and then David told me he was in the back of the pack. And so once they pitted, I thought we were in prime position. And then I saw Tucker, and I was like, oh, man, dang it. This is going to be one of those things. So me and Logan we were battling there down the back. I mean, I think at one point we both, like, probably dropped 30 miles an hour trying to drag back each other to let the other one go. And then finally I just stepped on it. David gave me a push, and then coming out of the trial, I didn't think I was going to have the run with him being on the outside and them locked up. So I just slowly drifted up into his door while I was still ahead to try to just kind of hold him from getting any momentum. And it seemed like it worked just enough, because when we were coming to the line, he was still gaining. So that was crazy.
It was crazy. It was fun to watch, fun to call from up here. Long time coming for you to get to victory lane in this series. I know you've said that before. You've been in the dance before for the championship, but not yet in victory lane. Now, the first guy to lock into the championship race. How does that feel? Where do you go from here? You start the season off on a high note.
Yeah, I mean, it feels really good in the sense of it seems like I'm always trying to chase after it. It's cool to be able to, like, sit back a little bit the next couple of weeks, and I don't have to worry about pulling any stunts like that on the last lap anymore or anything crazy. You can just push people and go back to the idea of patience, and hopefully it pays off. But that was really cool tonight, and of course now we can focus on the teammates and go see if we can't win a little bit more money, hopefully before the championship.
Oh, absolutely. We will see you in that championship race here in a few weeks. So you're in victory lane tonight. You get the job done. Go to victory lane and win the first week of the Little Guys Series. So before we let you go and celebrate, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Absolutely. Got to thank all the teammates tonight, Mark, Ron, David, for helping out, especially David there at the end. There's no chance I got that win without David pushing there right at the end. Thanks to Logan, obviously, for keeping it clean, even though I did do him a little dirty at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize for that now. But, also, of course, thanks to John Ward for putting this on. Hopefully I can do at least better in the championship and not blow a pit stop if we get there this time. And then thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. You do an awesome job, Dawson. We love having you on Thursday. And thank you, Baker, for hopping in as well here tonight, it looks like. So I think I got them all covered. And, on to next Monday.
On to next Monday, indeed. Congratulations on the win. A fantastic run for you tonight. You're locked in the championship race, and we will see what you can do here from the rest of this season. Congrats. Go enjoy it. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, fellas.
Austin Green, our winner tonight from the Talladega Super Speedway. And what a race it was. What a weird ending. An ending both of us have never seen before. Baker, not how I thought that it would pan out. Certainly as we got through that last pit stop, but nonetheless, very entertaining, very fun to watch that teammate dynamic come into play. And at the end of the day, Austin Green squeaks out a win by 6/1000ths of a second.
Yeah, a lot of fun to watch. We talked about the 79 Kaylee Yarborough versus the Allison boys on the final lap. You had two cars fighting it out with lap cars helping. That was just we'll never see that again, to be honest. If you're watching the broadcast, you're watching something special, because you won't see a race like that again. I don't think we'll have two cars finish within 6/1000ths of each other and then the third place car be 18 seconds back. So soak it in as one of the best finishes you'll see with only two trucks for sure.
Well, that will all but do it here from Talladega Super Speedway as we wrap up week one. Week two will be next week, same time, about 11:15 or so Eastern. We'll get back to racing. We'll see who the next guy is to lock into the championship here in the Little Guys Series. Couple quick scheduling notes for you here as we go forward. Do want to quickly bring to your attention that Romorse Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder is back on March 19th, so 2 weeks from tomorrow over on the Ghost Racing Network. I believe it'll be myself and Austin again for Tuesday nights as we go back to the Xfinity cars. The schedule was announced the other day by Ron. We're coming back for another season. I can't wait. That's one of my favorite races of the week to call, as the Xfinity cars will kick us off, I believe, from Talladega in the opening week on March the 19th. Watch out for Atlanta on that schedule as well. That's going to be a fun series as always as we come back for another season of that. And then Thursday is the big one this week. And Baker, I know you can attest to this. It's our favorite cars right now, the Gen 6 cars in PGR, as we get ready to run those on Thursday night. That's going to be a fun one, and we love those cars. We love the way they race, and I cannot wait to see what product we get on Thursday.
It's going to be great. Wish I would be out there racing, but I got to race them a couple weeks ago. I got my fix, but look for those to be some of our premier event cars. Watch the race this Thursday. It's going to be fireworks in the round of 16. Who will get the upset this week as we go on? Will Patton break out another upset again and just really excited to watch that race.
Lots to watch for in PGR on Thursday. Join us on the Ghost Racing Network as always over there for PGR Esports on Thursday. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Join us here next week. Week 2 of the Little Guys Series comes to you from Talladega Super Speedway at 11:15 here on the Hickory Racing Network. For my partner tonight, Matthew Baker, my name is Dawson Wise. Thank you all so much for watching and hanging out with us here on a Monday night. Austin Green gets the win tonight at Talladega. He is locked in.